Life is not fair, and nowhere is it clearer than the Monopoly board. At first glance, everyone thinks they start equally. The same dice, the same chances, the same 200 pounds at go. But as the game unfolds, the harsh truth reveals itself. Some players race ahead, stacking hotels on Mayfair and Park Lane while others struggle, clinging desperately to Old Kent Road, praying not to land on someone else's empire. This is not just a game, this is life. And the 22 laws of power are the only rules that truly matter once the dice start rolling. Each piece on the board embodies one or more of these laws, silently teaching us the brutal lessons of power and strategy. Take the race car, for instance. It's all about speed and ambition, flying across the board, snatching up properties left and right. It looks powerful, unstoppable even, but speed without patience is a recipe for ruin. The race car must learn two crucial laws. Law 4, play the long game, and Law 17, master the art of timing. Because rushing into every deal, buying every property in sight, only ends in bankruptcy. But waiting for the right moment, striking when the time is perfect, that's how fortunes are made and empires are built. Then there's the top hat, the very symbol of class, style, and reputation. The hat doesn't play with dice, it plays with perception. It wins through Law 7, guard your reputation, and Law 8, court attention at all costs. Because on the Monopoly board, as in life, image builds trust, and trust builds power long before money ever enters the equation. The top hat knows that being seen as successful is often more important than actually being successful, at least in the short term. Don't overlook the Scottish Terrier. Loyal, determined, often underestimated. The dog survives by keeping others dependent, embodying Law 9. It poses as a friend while working as a spy, perfectly executing Law 10. The terrier listens, it waits, and while others laugh at its seeming loyalty, the dog is quietly collecting secrets, biding its time until the perfect moment to strike. The battleship represents force, raw power, the constant threat of dominance. But in Monopoly, as in life, force burns fast. The ship must learn the subtle art of Law 12, use the surrender tactic, and Law 18, keep others in suspended terror. Sometimes appearing weak lures rivals into carelessness, making them overextend. And fear, the right kind of fear, keeps opponents from challenging you even when they should. Look at the cat, so playful, so charming, so manipulative. It's the embodiment of Law 2, the jester's gambit, never show your true intentions. The cat purrs, it flatters, it distracts. But behind that mask of innocence lies cold calculation. The cat always lands on its feet, while others never see the claws until it's far too late. Don't be fooled by the rubber duck, floating across the board, seemingly laughing at every setback. But optimism without calculation is a trap, a deadly one. The duck only survives by learning Law 5, conceal intentions, and Law 19, chain your fortune to numbers, not emotions. It must stop relying on luck and chance cards, and instead count the odds, calculate the risks, and float with purpose and precision. The penguin might seem awkward, often underestimated and mocked, but this bird plays the long con. It has mastered Law 6, always say less than necessary, and Law 13, play the perfect courtier. The penguin doesn't need to be flashy or draw attention to itself. It just needs to be indispensable, gliding quietly through the shadows until it controls the entire game from behind the scenes. Finally, we have the T-Rex, the most feared piece on the board. It represents raw aggression, domination incarnate. The T-Rex devours opportunities, terrifies opponents into submission. But even kings can fall if they build their fortresses too high, too fast. The T-Rex must master Law 1, never defend yourself, Law 11, do not isolate yourself, and Law 22, the final gambit. Because brute strength might win battles, but only inevitability wins the war. And then there's you, the player stuck circling the board endlessly. You pass go, collect your measly 200 and pray for a lucky chance card to change your fortunes. You save, you hustle, you claw your way toward even owning Old Kent Road. But just when you think you're close, you land on Mayfair, on Park Lane, and you go bust, again and again and again. This is life on the Monopoly board. The rich own the hotels, the poor pray for luck, and the middle class cling desperately to the hope of just one more roll of the dice changing everything. But here's the brutal truth. The dice were never fair, and the rules were never designed for you to win. The real winners aren't the ones who play by the rules. They're the ones who rewrite them entirely. They're the top hat that builds such an impeccable reputation that others hand over deals without a second thought. They're the Scottish Terrier that gathers secrets while wagging its tail, appearing harmless until the moment it strikes. They're the queen on the chessboard, the house in the casino, the king presiding over it all. They all know the same fundamental truth. Fortune follows power, and power follows those who truly master these laws. Life is Monopoly, brutal, unfair, tilted from the very start. But those who understand and internalize the 22 laws of power are no longer just pieces being moved across the board. They become the board itself, shaping the entire game to their will. So ask yourself, are you still rolling the dice, hoping against hope for a lucky chance card to save you? Or are you finally ready to master the laws, to see beyond the illusion of fairness, and to truly own the game itself? Remember, Elizabeth of York didn't just play by the rules. She unified entire crowns, merging two monopolies into an empire that would last for centuries. Amazon didn't settle for being a successful piece on the board. It became the board itself, rewriting the very nature of commerce. And the casino? It never gambles. It is the house, the ultimate embodiment of inevitability. Don't chase after Old Kent Road while Mayfair devours you whole. Stop relying on chance when others are manipulating every roll. The dice are an illusion, a comforting lie told to keep you in your place. The true rules, the ones that actually matter, favor those who already control the board. The poor roll for mere survival. The middle-class circle endlessly trapped in a cycle of false hope. But the truly powerful? They write the rules of the game itself, so what will it be? Will you continue to be a piece moved by unseen hands and unfair rules? Or will you rise above, see the board for what it truly is, and become the master of your own game? The choice is yours. But remember, in Monopoly, as in life, there are no participation trophies. There are only winners and losers. And the clock is always ticking.